and I think many of us will know this, that the major governments have been sort of asked to declare the truth and have reneged on it. And it's now to the position where they've all been given an ultimatum to bring forth disclosure, and if they don't, then disclosure will be brought forward without their say-so. The difference there is that if the Earth governments controlled disclosure, then they can manage the situation. If it's taken out of their hands, they can't. So that's the first thing. The second thing I want to say is that the false flag is a very real option, because if benevolent off-planet entities are going to disclose, then what the elite on the planet will try and do is get in just a few hours before with the false flag, and they will use robotic greys, which they have in some underground facilities. They will use the first generation of triangle craft, and they will have mock-up scenes of combat between American soldiers and these aliens. The difficulty for them is that Putin in Russia is not going to play that game. The original plan was that the major countries of the world would all agree to that. But there are major countries now that are not going to play the game. So it's going to basically be America and Britain following suit, and perhaps Australia and Canada. So it's not going to be the easy program that these psychopaths had actually planned for. And the other thing I will say is that we haven't talked about a potential economic blip occurring. That also is programmed to come in as well. And so many people don't seem to see the truth. They don't seem to be able to respond. But you know, when all the cash machines turn themselves off, when the banks close their doors, when there are disruptions to communications, people, I hope, will not just look around and say what's going on. I hope they'll say, what sort of life have I got? What sort of person am I? Is this the right way to elect my leaders? Are my values right? Now, I'm hoping that everything will change, that people will begin to question their whole way of living, the whole way that the system works. They will feel that, how could I have been so stupid? How could I have believed all these lies? Their whole world will have totally gone, and they're very vulnerable. That is an incredibly dangerous position for us, because if we have a vacuum, some other entity or some evil person might attempt to try and get in there and to form an alternative government. This world, this third dimensional planet, has been so modelled on the fourth dimension. We don't need to go through it very much. On this planet we have words, Satanism, occult, sacrifice, all of these words, black magic. Now those words don't exist in the fourth dimension, but their energy does, and it was the energy from the fourth dimension that was drawn here that's created that. So we don't need to go to the fourth and stay there, because we've already experienced it. We need to just pass through it very quickly and go into the fifth, where those words and that energy holds no strength, because the vibrational force of the fifth and higher is such that there is no place for those resonation of energies that cannot survive there. So actually, I'm very positive for the future. I actually think we're going to make it. I think it's going to be a bumpy ride, but I'm very positive. So that's my 2 penneth worth.